Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Bose in the 19th hole. We're going to be doing the rookie playthrough here for the Celtic Cup Tournament. And we're going to be doing holes 1 through 9. I played this through one time on my limited schedule yesterday, and hopefully some of this information can help you out. So we start out with 1 here, hole number 1. We'll play a plus 10% on the tee shot here. I'm going to use Quasar ball and an extra mile for the tee shot. We'll be playing it to the left side. You can also play the shot to the right side. This will set up a shot with your thorn, where you would basically hop over the water towards the hole, which would be an easy birdie for sure. I think the best chance of the eagle is playing it to the left, though. And I played, max top spin, 2-3 bars of left spin with the extra mile 5. If you have higher level extra miles, definitely be careful on that topspin that you use, because you don't want to go too far through that fairway into the rough. So definitely be careful of that. We want to bounce our shot up this fairway here and put us in position for a chance at the rough bump. Now it's very important to keep your yardage distances here. And also, once you know your yardage distances, then you can start to dial in these second shots. So that's one thing that you will see here on this next shot. I play a plus 5%. And I've been playing plus 10% in pro and expert and dropping it very consistently. So we're going to watch me play this shot here. And I will end up missing the shot, and it could be one of two things. I feel like that's mid-distance right there for this shot. So the reason I miss it could either be I had my my distance measured off incorrectly, which would throw off my adjustment, or we need to go to 0% on the adjustment for in the rookie, because you're going to see I miss it to the right. So that's basically saying an over adjustment. So from 5%, if we went 0%, that would be a little bit less adjustment, which would push that shot back more towards the hole. As you're going to see this one miss just to the left-hand side. And if I had not adjusted as much, it would have been a lot closer to the hole, probably in. So that could have been one of two things. It could have been the elevation, or it could have been a misadjustment on the actual distance. So for hole number 2, playing it with the Goliath here. You can play with any long iron, basically, that you do like. I like the Goliath. 15% will be the elevation change here. I will be using a Quasar ball. And we're playing this shot with 2 backspin and 4 left spin. As you see, I accidentally put right spin on this shot, but I will correct that. The trick is trying to find a spot on this fairway that gives you a fairly consistent bounce. I like to put my blue ring right there along the edge of that right rough line. And now we're going to make our adjustment here. Max club adjustment at 2.6 plus 15% elevation. Now here you see we hit great right, so obviously the shot's going to be a little bit offline. But you can definitely see if a perfect shot was hit, we would have been, really close. Maybe still came in a little bit short, but definitely a great starting point, moving forward on that hole. So hopefully y'all can get that one tuned in a little bit here. So this shot right here, hole number 3, plus 10% on the drive. As you see, I'm using a quarterback here. What you're going to see me do is I'm going to push about 3 rings into overpower to kind of see where I want my shot to go. So I'm going to use just a regular power shot. I'm going to use the overpower. I'm going to use the distance that the wind's going to take my shot about 3 rings further. And we're just going to let this one go normal. As you see, I'm having some issues. I was having some connectivity issues. I do use a little bit of overpower on the shot. I think it's very safe to use a little bit of overpower with the quarterback. And if you don't feel comfortable doing overpower, you don't really have to. It's just a better way to get yourself a little bit closer to the edge of that rough line. So here you see me in my second shot. I've got big dog in. We're going to go with max right spin, 1 top spin. And we're playing this one at minus 10% because this is an uphill shot. So the first thing you do is you want to find out where you want your ball to land, and then we're going to make our adjustment for this shot. Max adjustment, minus 10%. So we're taking away wind from the elevation just because it's uphill. Put a little bit of curl. You don't want to over curl it. About a quarter ball curl just to that right edge. And this one's going to roll up here very nicely. Good chance at the albatross right there on this hole. And definitely one that I think y'all can get. Give yourself at least a chance at the albatross. It's definitely going to be a flip of a coin though, you know, to get it or not. So hole number 4 here, our next par 3 of the day. We're playing a plus 10%. For our adjustment here, you can go with a Marlin or Quasar. I choose to go with a Navigator because I don't use any side spin on the shot, just 1 top spin. We're going to play the shot at mid distance with the Goliath. You see my yellow ring right there along the edge of that rough line, and we're just trying to aim our ball guide as best as we can. And actually, let me here, I'm going to slap this and slow it back up there just a little bit because I want y'all to look at this green line here. As you can see, that green line, and I have the edge of my ball guide right there on the edge of that green line. See, my ball guide right there on the edge of that green line. Now you're going to watch my actual shot, and you're going to see where that actually comes in at, and then from there you will be able to make adjustments to that shot. So remember, edge of the ball guide, right along the edge of that green line, and then yellow ring on the rough. So now let's see where the shot comes in. From there, we can make adjustments to how we're going to play this shot moving forward. We make our mid adjustment, plus 10 for elevation, 1 top spin, and it comes in bouncing very nicely. And it's going to come in about 1/2 a square right of the hole. So next time playing that hole, I would actually have the edge of my ball guide pointed more towards the middle part of that dark green square to the left. So something to keep an eye on, and that's kind of things that you have to pay attention to when you are trying to dial in shots. All right, hole number 5 here. We're going to be playing this shot to the right side. I feel like playing it to the right side gives you the best chance because it sets you up with a shot where you can either go for a rough bump or just skip shot towards the hole. So we're going with the extra mile here, and we're going to be playing this shot about between mid and min. I would say we're going to go with the red ring just a little bit into the rough. And we're going to make our adjustment here for the shot. As you see, the right edge of my ball, just the right edge of that outer line, curl-wise. And it's going to be a perfect amount of curl. You do want to make sure that you don't overdo it on this hole. Too much curl, you can catch that rough. But you do need to have enough curl to keep your ball away from that left side of that left rough. So for our second shot here, we're playing this one at a plus 10%. So we're looking at the rough bump here. We don't have it. You might want to bring your Hornet if you want to go for the rough bump on this hole. So we're going to play this one with the Thorn. We're going to go with a bounce over shot. We go 1 back spin and 1 right spin. And then, from what we see here, we can make adjustments to those spins. We make our adjustment there. It's about mid-range Thorn. Hit perfect. So this one will give us a really good visual of what we have to try to do. Looks like a pretty good straight patch of the hole, just not enough speed. So we went with 1 backspin there. I would definitely change that to no backspin, no topspin. I would have just played that one at regular. You definitely would change your spin depending on how far you are on your drive. So if you're bouncing farther back, you may have to change that a little bit as well. But for that particular shot, I probably would have been better served playing that one with no topspin and no backspin. Hole number 6 is next. I believe playing it to the right side is the best strategy on this hole, for sure. And we're going to watch my opponent play, first of all, with the extra mile, and then I'm going to use in the big topper. So you get to see 2 ways to play this hole off the tee box. Tighten ball, I think, would definitely be a good ball to use on this hole. You don't need any extra overpower. Just line that shot up in between that gap on the next fairway. Pretty straight tailwind, so you really don't need to worry about any kind of adjustments. Just line it up. Just eye it up. There you go, and straight through. Play that shot somewhere around 15 to 20% for the downhill. I think I played 20%. So I'm going to play the same shot, except I'm going to use the big topper. I think I used the big topper. Maybe I don't. Yep. So the big topper here and the Viper is what I'm going to use. Knowing that I can get my shot down that fairway a good amount, I use the Viper. Now, if you're playing and you don't feel like, and you don't seem like you're getting the ball as far down the fairway as I am, then you may want to just play it safe and bring your big dog to make sure you have a chance to get to the green, because we will be playing a rough bump for our second shot. We eye it up, we hit it, and this one's going to come in very nicely. You can play this shot with pretty much any level big topper you want, just because the topspin on the driver makes it just such a great club for this particular shot. One thing about the big topper is accuracy isn't as good, but lower level extra miles don't have much accuracy either. So this shot right here is being played uphill. So we're going to be playing this one at minus 5%. Minus 5%. We're going to play it with the Viper here, and we go with 1/2 topspin, because do remember, ball guides aren't quite developed here, so what you see is not quite what you're going to get. You usually get a lot more than what you see with the Viper, and the big dog for that matter. So minus 5%, we make our adjustment here, and let's see how this one comes in. Nice little bump, and just coming in with a little bit too much speed. Otherwise, it was right there at the pin, so I would stick with minus 5% for that second shot. Just a little bit less, maybe like 1/2 bar of backspin. That was a 1/2 bar of topspin right there, what you saw. So maybe like 1/2 bar of backspin would be good for that shot with the Viper. Alright, hole 7, par 3. I'll play with someone with a Goliath and a Navigator ball. We'll play plus 10% here for this shot. And we playing this one about mid-distance is what it seems. We're not going to play any spin on the shot whatsoever. We're just going to try to line this one up with the hole as best as we can. We end up with the orange ring right there along the edge of the rough. So we can use that kind of as a marker to make changes to the shot as we need to make changes to the shot. I use the Navigator just to cut down on the wind just a little bit. And this one comes in, nice bounce, nice roll, but just missed to the right hand side. So we should play that one possibly a little bit higher elevation. We're going to back. I want to go back and actually look at that shot one more time. I think 10% is the correct elevation to change play here. I want to look at my aim point. I think I didn't aim this one at the hole as much as I should have. Let's see, where did I aim it here? Okay. I aimed it pretty much right at the hole. And plus 10% I feel is the correct elevation to play here. So maybe we just got a bad bounce. I wouldn't play any spin either. Maybe slightly aim it just left of the hole. Maybe the better way to approach this one. Because we did just come in just to the right. So I think, just aim it slightly off to the left of the hole and let that wind, work that shot back to the hole. So yeah, I wouldn't change the elevation. First tee, I would play the plus 10%. It's the second tee where you change your elevation just because it's a little bit higher level. Okay, so next hole is hole number 8. You can play this one to the right side or the left side. I'm actually going to bump up to a katana ball just to give me a little bit extra distance. Do be very careful with this shot. These fairways do slope down leftward and to the right. So you really got to really thread this needle area to get your ball up into this fairway. You can also play the shot to the right side as well. And you could probably play that shot to the right with a quarterback with top spin and some right spin. I think the shot to the left sets you up for a much better chance at the eagle. And as you're going to see, I have a really nice chance to eagle here. Good drive here. You could definitely go with a little bit more overpower if you wanted to try to get that ball up the fairway. But I think it's much more important to be accurate with your shot than distance-wise more powerful. So don't give up a chance of accuracy for a little bit extra yardage, unless you're really trying to go for it. So I'm looking at about a mid-range thorn shot here. You're playing this shot 0% for the second shot. If you're on the right side, playing it from the right side, and I play the second shot at plus 10%. But from the left side, it's 0%. We're going to go with 4 backspin here with the thorn. Again, 0% for the second shot here on the left side. We hit crate to the right, so this one will miss. But if we had been perfect, I believe we had it. All right, last and final hole here, hole number 9. Hole number 9. Definitely very important to bring your big dog to this hole. I'm going to play this hole with a quarterback. And then for my ball choice, I go with a Titan ball. You definitely need to have that extra distance for the second shot. 0% for the tee shot and the second shot. 0%. So I'm going to show you my opponent take his shot here first. Now my opponent's going to play his shot to the left side. Now it's very important, if you're going to play your shot to the left side, that you play along this right hand edge of the fairway. You need to land it somewhere, well, not there, but you need to land it somewhere along this right hand edge, and then you need to get your ball to stay as far to the right as possible. From that spot right there, you may have a chance at the green, but if you end up anywhere left of this line, you're really going to be in trouble to reach the green in 2, or even give yourself a decent look at the green in 2, playing it to the left side, which is why you will not see many people play that way. So my opponent goes full top spin to right spin here. He really should be using a Titan ball, for sure. And he should be using full curl, so he should be definitely playing curl into this shot. You see, he hits it perfect, and you're going to still see, even with a perfect shot, where he ends up. He's way too far to the left-hand side already on that bounce. If he had set up that shot closer to the right-hand side, he may have had a chance. But even with 367 yards for his drive, he's still going to be in quite a predicament. Alright, so for my shot here, we're playing this one with 3 to 4 backspin, max right spin, and we're just going to trying to look where our shot's going to land, right about in there. So we're going to aim our shot back there towards the edge of the rough, let the wind do the work, and then use the curl. With the backspin and the right spin, that will bring our shot in quite nicely and get it to stop right there. And that gets us very close up to the front edge of the fairway. The closer you get to the edge of the fairway, the better chance you have. So here you see you have 2 options here. Depending on your drive is really going to tell you what you can do. For me, I was able to get pretty close to the front edge, so I can actually go for trying to land my shot on this fairway, which can get me to the green. If you don't have quite as good of a drive, you'll be landing your shot more back here with full topspin, and you'll be ending up somewhere in this area right here for a wedge chip at the hole, like you saw me in my my Tour 5 tutorial videos earlier last week. So it's very important on the drive to get as close to the front edge of that fairway as possible to give yourself a chance to land on this second fairway to get to the hole. That's why the Titan ball is very important as well, for sure. If you're in the rookie and you know you need an eagle, as much as I hate to say it, you could probably pull out a berserker ball and guarantee yourself an eagle on this hole if it comes to that in the weekend round. So as you see here, fully outstretched, it doesn't look like it's going to make it, right? Or it's like, you know, it almost looks like I'm going to clip the rough on this shot. But what you're going to see is I make it quite easily, actually. Put a little bit of right curl to counteract that right to left wind. And as you see, we did make it. Not by a lot, but we did make it. And we hit great. So with a perfect shot, you know, we're even a little bit further, you know, over here, you know, to the right of where we actually landed. As you see here, we're going to roll up onto the green, and once it hits that green, it's going to roll. That downward slope will take it down to the hole for a very easy eagle. So your options are very dependent on how far up in the fairway you get your initial drive. Alright, y'all, thank you all very much for hanging out. That was the rookie playthrough. Check out my friend Gio Viviani on his channel Golf Clash Italy. Definitely lots of good content and a great guy. You can also find him on Facebook by searching the name you see on the screen. He posts all his information and videos on his Facebook account as well.